Hello everyone, welcome to Hot Stuff in My Car Wash channel. In this video, we're going to explain how to replace a defective rear axle shaft that was not heat treated properly during the manufacturing process on 2015 Chevy Silverado 1500 and GMC Sierra 1500. If you don't know if your truck has defective rear axles, we're going to show you how you can identify them. First thing you need to do is remove the center caps from the rear wheels. Obviously, if your truck has aftermarket wheels, you will need to lift it up with the floor jack, put jack stands under the axle, and remove the rear wheels. So proceed to do that first. Once you have removed either the center caps or the wheels, depending on your truck, locate the manufacturing code numbers located at the end of the axle shaft as shown in the image. You will see two sets of numbers stamped on each axle. The number above the center point begins with the letter C, and the number below the center point starts with the letter K. If the code that starts with the letter C is one of the two shown in the image, the axles need to be replaced. Once you have determined that the axles in your truck need to be replaced, raise the truck using a floor jack, place jack stands under the rear axle, and place two more jack stands under the frame on the front, that way it is level. Next, remove the rear wheels. Insert a pry bar or a long screwdriver in between the front side of the caliper bracket and the caliper so you can pull the caliper towards the outside of the truck and compress the caliper piston about 1/8 of an inch. Remove the two brake rotor retaining clips shown in the image. Remove the caliper bracket bolts and slide the whole assembly away from the brake rotor. Hang it from the frame using either a piece of rope or baling wire to avoid pulling on the brake hose. Place a drain pan under the differential and start removing the differential cover bolts starting from the lower ones. Once you get to the top ones, leave the two finger tight until all the gear oil drains. In the event that the cover is stuck to the housing, just use a flat screwdriver to pry it open until all the oil drains out. Once all the gear oil has drained, remove the last two bolts and remove the cover and the gasket. Once the differential cover is removed, remove the cross pin shaft lug bolt shown in the image. Once the lug bolt has been removed, push the cross pin shaft from the inner side of the differential housing and pull it out with your other hand. Next, push the axle shafts in, that way you can expose the axle lug clips, also known as axle C-clips. Use a magnet to pull the C-clips out. If you don't have a magnet, try pushing them with a flat screwdriver and pull them out with needle nose pliers. Once the C-clips are removed, pull the axles all the way out and set them aside. Remove the axle shaft seals with a seal puller as shown in the image. Clean the inner side of the axle cavity with a shop towel soaked with brake cleaner, that way it's free from gear oil. Apply a light coat of RTB silicone to the outer edge of the seals and install them using either a seal driver or a big socket that fits on the outer edge of the seal and a hammer. Apply a light coat of grease to the inner lip of the new seals, that way you don't damage them when you install the new axle shafts. Carefully install the new axles and make sure that you keep them centered as you push them in, that way you don't put too much pressure on the new seals. Push them all the way in, that way you'll be able to install the C-clips. Install new axle locking clips and pull the axles out, that way you can install the cross pin shaft. Install the cross pin shaft back in, install a new lug bolt and torque it to 30 foot-pounds. This is important. If the new lug bolt is not coated with thread locking compound, apply a few drops of red thread locking compound before installing it, that way it doesn't come loose. Clean the surface of the axle housing and the differential cover and install the cover back on using a new GM gasket. Leave the bolts finger tight for now. Tighten the differential cover bolts in a star pattern. On the first step, just snug them with a ratchet in the socket. And the final torque using the star pattern is 20 foot-pounds. You can use the tightening sequence on the image displayed with the orange numbers. Next, remove the differential fill plug and fill it with GM synthetic GL5 gear oil. The GM part number for this gear oil is 193000457. The rear differential capacity for trucks equipped with a 4.3 liter is 2.15 quarts, and the capacity for the V8 engine is 2.6 quarts. Once the gear oil starts running out, install the plug back on and tighten it to 24 foot-pounds. Install the brake rotors and the retaining clips back on. Install the caliper and caliper bracket assembly back on. Install new caliper bracket bolts and torque them to 118 foot-pounds. Clean all the brake components with brake cleaner. Install the wheels back on and tighten the lug nuts in a star pattern. If you're using an air impact, use very low pressure, that way the lug nuts are just snug for now. Next, lower the truck to the ground and tighten the lug nuts in the same star pattern at 140 foot-pounds. Take your truck for a test drive, and upon your arrival, check for leaks. If you did everything correctly, there shouldn't be any leaks, and the pickup should drive normal. And there you have it. That's all it takes to replace the defective rear axles on 2015 Silverado and 2015 GMC Sierra 1500. Have a great day.